Good evening. I'm Brent.
And I'm Josh.
And together with our community of friends and neighbors, we're the founders of Beekman 1802. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We are thrilled to be hosting the first ever virtual Samburu Scholarship Week. Many of you watching are already familiar with the Thorn Tree Project and its wildly successful program of providing education to the nomadic Samburu community in northern Kenya. Just like us, you've been involved in the program for decades. For you tonight, you'll hear about how the program has pivoted and adapted to this crazy world of 2020. Others of you may never have heard of Thorn Tree. For you, there will be a great opportunity to learn more and peek in on the people and the heroes who continue to make this project such a resounding success.
Okay, now has everyone poured themselves their Dawa Sundowner?
Where's mine?
I know, we don't have ours. By the way, Sundowner in Swahili actually means medicine. So this is all good for us. So
a gin and tonic is medicine.
So let's enjoy this evening together. And if you're watching on either the Thorn Tree Facebook or YouTube pages, please say hello or ask questions in the comment section below. That way we know you're watching. And the Thorn Tree folks are also watching right now. So if you've got questions, they'll chat with you, we'll chat with you. So let's make it like a real party.
That's right.
Okay, so those of you who know our personal story of making our first bar of goat milk soap on our small farm during the recession of 2008, and subsequently we grew into one of the largest independent beauty companies in America, know that we personally owe everything to our resilience and the support of our community. Resilience is definitely something we've had to nurture within ourselves all this year. Everyone has.
This year has been truly the very definition of a curveball, and we've all had to become incredibly flexible and strong within our own families and communities. We know how hard it's been.
But as difficult as it's been for all of us, just take a moment to think of the advantages that we had going into this crisis. So many people around the globe were not as lucky as we are. They were struggling to survive before this pandemic got underway. And tonight is our chance to help. There are so many ways you can give back.
And we have an incredible surprise announcement at the end of this presentation.
Now tell it now. Just tell it now.
No, we're not supposed to tell it yet.
Tell it now. Tell it now.
We're supposed to wait until the end.
All right, someone is going to come forward and match the donations made during this event while you're watching.
You weren't supposed to say that.
I know, okay.
But I'm going to say it again. Someone is matching your donation. Matching.
Matching. All right, so just pretend I didn't say that and then act surprised when you hear the details later. But you can start giving now if you want by going to the site that's on your screen and listed below in the comments. So if you start giving now, that would be even better.
That's right. And can I get us back on track now?
Get back on track.
All right. You all may not know this, but over the past 18 years, we've been supporting the Thorn Tree Project by sponsoring the preschool class at Latassim.
So we've been doing this for the past 18 years, supporting the mission and the life-changing work going on within the Samburu community, and it's been part of our lives for all those years.
Today, this very day, is Heroes Day in Kenya.
I'm not going to get this right. Mashuja.
I'm glad you had to say that. I'm glad you had to say that.
But that's Heroes Day.
And this day honors all of those Kenyans who have contributed to the struggle for Kenya's independence or who have positively contributed to the post-independence Kenya. For those of you who are already Thorn Tree Project supporters, we are totally in awe of the good work you have helped ignite, manifest, and guide over all these years. You are truly heroes to over 1,000 Samburu children. And we've been to visit the schools twice, and you would not believe how they recognize each one of you as their heroes. You are changing their lives and the lives of the community at large. An amazing gift. Thank you. Or, as they'd like to say, asante.
So for those of you joining with us for the first time, you're maybe wondering, what is the Thorn Tree Project? So we're going to fill you in. Let's give it a go. Now, long before we bought Beekman Farm, long before we won the amazing race, I worked in an advertising agency in New York City and met my lifelong mentor and role model, advertising legend Jane Newman. Now, when she retired from her storied career Jane decided to travel the world by herself. She went to the most remote places she could. She traveled off the beaten path, completely off the grid, exploring the new world and meeting so many new friends along the way.
Don't you wish we could all do that?
I know. But the most interesting thing is her journey took her through, part of her journey took her through northern Kenya. She was going to Ethiopia, and her Land Rover broke down. It was near the village of Serialipi, which is, really off the map. It really isn't even a blip on the map. So she ended up stranded there, and she was stranded in what some folks would maybe, in the developed world, would call the last mile. Okay?
Literally, the road did not extend
It was the
past
end.
that point. Yeah.
The dirt road, it was remote and isolated. There was no electricity, no cell service. But luckily, she met a stranger who quickly became a friend.
Chief George.
Chief George.
Chief of
George
Serialipi.
Lamerto.
Yeah, amazing guy.
He was the chief of the Serialipi people.
Now, can you imagine how a chance meeting and an act of kindness could so profoundly change the lives of so many people? Thousands of people so far.
So Jane's conversations with Chief George and the Samburu community had a profound influence on her, and she wanted to repay their kindness, but even more than that, she wanted to help them fulfill a dream that the community had shared with her. So here's Jane a few years later, in her own words, describing how the community she became a part of, whom she vowed to help, and how that act of kindness grew to become the Thorn Tree Project we know today.
The northern part of Kenya is one of the poorest and most marginalised parts of Africa. This is where the Samburu tribe live, an ancient people with strong culture and traditions. They're nomadic pastoralists who live in traditional manyatas in houses made of sticks that are easy to move in their constant search for water and pasture for their animals. Their cows, goats and camels provide milk, blood and meat and are their only source of food. The land is semi-arid and subject to frequent droughts. The droughts are escalating in frequency and intensity. In the last drought, they lost 80% of their cows and 60% of their goats. In 2000, when I was travelling from Kenya to Ethiopia, the Land Rover I was in broke down just near their village of Serialipi. I stayed there for a few days and I realised that they had a dream. It was very simple. They wanted to get more of their children to come to school. They knew that education was key to their survival, but the dream was quite unattainable for them. They couldn't afford it. They were just too poor. Through a lot of hard work on their part, and with our support, they have been very successful. In 2001, there were just 130 students in school. Now there are 1,300.
George Lemerketo is a respected elder and a local authority in the Samburu community of Serialipi in northern Kenya. Chief George is the primary mediator between the Kenyan government and the Samburu community. He focuses on peaceful conflict resolutions, usually relates to livestock issues, and on social work, including promoting the importance of education.
The cows are very important to Samburu's life. We have got no any other way of living.
During a devastating drought several years ago, Chief George shows the international press the effects of climate change on the local livestock.
It's dying because of the drought. There's no grass, nothing to eat, no water. This cow have stayed here for the last 2 days. If you go to all water points, you can meet a lot of dead carcasses and even those who are going to die like this one now. Even elephants are dying of hunger.
Chief George Lemerketo initiated together with Jane Newman the start of the Thorn Tree Project in the early years of 2000.
After living for a week in the community, waiting for the repair parts for her car, Jane, as she always does, made a lot of friends.
Enthralled with the people and their culture and the kindness, with a heartfelt confirmation of how much was needed in the areas where she traveled and seeing firsthand the dire lack of resources, Jane returned home to New York with an idea, a plan, and a promise to find a way to address the barriers and problems facing the Samburu. She shared her experiences among the Samburu tribe with her friends and colleagues at home, and she began weaving together a group of like-minded individuals like us who saw an abundance of potential and promise in this faraway community. These children filled with promise, but with little or no opportunity to improve their circumstances.
One of those like-minded individuals was the internationally renowned designer and entrepreneur.
And Jane's dear friend.
Yes, and Jane's dear friend.
And our friend.
And our friend, Clodagh. Clodagh was right there in the beginning, and she joined Jane in the creation of Senate. That's the Seria Lipi Nomadic Education Trust, which is the official name for the Thorn Tree Project. We just call it the Thorn Tree Project. She was one of the first board members. She's traveled to Kenya many times. She's sponsored preschools. She's been a part of all of it. So now let's take a moment and hear a little bit from Clodagh herself.
Josh, thank you. It's great to see you and Brent again. And it's wonderful to be part of the room with all you wonderful people out there. When Jane Newman walked into my studio 18 years ago and asked me to help her to raise funds for a little school in Africa, little did I know that that school would become part of my daily life, the Thorn Tree Project. I really believe in education. I really believe in helping people. And these kids, with their vibrant intellect and wonderful enthusiasm, have done an extraordinary job. I'd like to show you a short clip that Linda Pagan, our president, filmed of Assunta, one of our first students who started her school life in the Danyawasin, the first preschool we sponsored. Assunta is going to become a nurse.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Clodagh.
What's your name?
I'm Assunta.
And who's your sponsor?
Clodagh Aubrey.
How long has she been sponsoring you?
For 3 years now.
And are you excited about school?
Yeah, I'm just so happy, extremely happy that is.
Great. And what do you want to be when you grow up?
A nurse, a self-employed.
Self-employed nurse.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be happy to know that Clodagh is self-employed also. So
Yes.
she'll be very happy to hear that you're an entrepreneur.
Wow.
So we're going to try and make everything happen for you, Assunta.
Okay.
Ashawaling.
Assuring.
Assunta, when I brought up the library at Danyawasin, you had such a great reaction. How do you feel about the library at Danyawasin?
Oh, I was just so happy. My hobby is reading stories. And so I had somewhere where I could spend my free time. And, I just got so happy because I can read, study more, refresh my mind. Yeah. Just
What
so
kind of
happy.
books did you read when you were at the library?
Okay, the big novels, those that are voluminous. Yeah,
You like the long ones?
yeah,
Okay, well, we're going to have to get some big, long ones that are new.
yes,
And then you'll have to go back to the library.
yes.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I'm so proud of all of you out there. Your gifts have allowed us to make this happen. It's ongoing and growing. You helped to actually open the doors of opportunity to countless students, and through them to their parents and family. I thank you so much for joining us here tonight. And thank you, Linda, for that charming video of Assunta. Now let's have a look at what some of our preschoolers are doing.
Preschools are how the Thorn Tree Project was started in 2002. They are always under the largest thorn tree, hence our project's name.
Down. Man. Down. Sabar. Sudah. Sauti. Sauti. Bat.
Thank you, Clodagh. You've clearly been an inspiration to Assunta. She literally radiates confidence and strength, which is very unusual among the women historically in the tribe. And a reminder for all of you who want to donate tonight, right now.
And remember, there's a surprise announcement coming up that if you make your donation right now, it's going to be matched, but that's totally a surprise.
It's not really a surprise anymore now, is it?
Not really, no, but if you click on the link below and make your donation right now, you're going to hear more in a moment about how it's going to be matched.
Can you imagine what he's like on Christmas morning?
I'm terrible.
But first, let's hear an update from the Thorn Tree Project president, our friend Linda Pagan.
Hi, I'm Linda Pagan and I'm president of the Thorn Tree Project. And I'm here just to give you an overview of how many of you have grown organically with us with the Thorn Tree Project. So as you saw, we started off with preschools that moved with the herds, and then the best and the brightest of those children went to the 3 regional government schools. But upon visiting them, Jane saw that they were severely underfunded and lacked basic necessities such as books, pencils, desks, and even teachers. So many of you out there sponsored a classroom and helped to improve the learning environment in those elementary schools. And when those elementary schools were improved, attendance soared, and of course the grades for the 8th graders who were taking the national exam, they improved. So we had many children who qualified to go on to high school. And again, we then had a scholarship push, and many of you heroes out there are sponsoring high school and college students right now. Now, one of the things that has made Thorn Tree successful at the elementary level was that we built dormitories. Many of the children did not live close by to the elementary schools, and no Samburu parent is going to let their child walk through the bush to school. So the minute we built dormitories, attendance soared. And out there, Mary, Maroon, Clodagh, John and Adelaide were the first to start building those dormitories at Ndanyuwasin. We've just completed our 8th dormitory at Larata, and we've done a little video about it, and I think you're really going to love watching the blessing ceremony. So here we go.
Lerata Girls Dormitory. Our 8th dormitory was opened in March of 2019. Its construction was made possible by your generosity. As is traditional, the elders performed a blessing ceremony that included prayers and the sprinkling of cow's milk. It was a happy day for the whole Lerata community.
What's your name? What grade are you in?
2.
2. Oh, you're very tall. Where are you from? Oh, Ndanyuwasin. And what's your name? What grade are you in?
5.
Students are always eager to meet visitors to the school. They like to say which class they're in, and when they're asked if they like school, it's usually a unanimous yes.
Do you like being in school? Yes. Yes. Everybody's lined up for lunch. And what's for lunch today? Beans? Unga?
I want class 1 to be here. Are they okay? Class 2, can you? Class 1, what? Start 1 and move on back. All the class 1 to be here.
So now the dishes will be full with
Is that one of class 2 here?
rice. Not rice?
Class 1?
No. Ugali? Do you like beans?
Yes.
Do you like ugali?
Yes.
Do you like beans better or ugali better?
Yes.
Okay.
It's lunchtime at Doña Wasin. Every student must have their own bowl and spoon. They line up according to their class at the kitchen that was built by Thorn Tree. The students in Class 8 are the lunch monitors, and they make sure that everyone gets their fair share. Lunch is either beans and rice or beans and ugali, a type of Kenyan polenta. Students take their lunch to a favorite spot and eat with their friends.
I would like to be a doctor. Because it helped me to achieving my dreams to become a doctor. Reading at home, looking at fresh water, looking after our animals. Thank you, Thorn Project, for the mass.
The school helped a lot because I know to talk in English now, but when I am at home, I am unable to talk English. But now, when I get education, I know to talk with some people that does not understand. Example, when I grow up, I would like to be an engineer because I want to help my fellow county and almost Kenya.
It is the beginning of November, the end of the school year. There are no janitors, so students clean the desks and chairs and get everything in tip-top shape for the very important week of national exams. Class 8 students must pass these exams in order to get their Kenya Certificate of Primary Education.
This is all so inspiring, but as you're all aware, 2020 changed everything for everyone. Overnight, it felt like COVID shrank much of our world to simply our homes and the nearest grocery store. But the truth is that there will be no lasting recovery for any of us unless the entire world recovers. And for the students of Samburu who are already living in extreme circumstances, the consequences of this pandemic are making life so much harsher, even more dire. I know many of you are wondering how things are going over there.
So we now have the great fortune to be able to check in tonight with Catherine Vanderwall, Thorn Tree's Director of Operations, who's on the ground in Kenya. Catherine will give us an update on the current situation. Catherine?
Thank you so much, Josh and Brent. So nice to see you two again. Good evening, everyone. My name is Catherine Vanderwall, and I'm the Director of Operations here at the Thorn Tree Project, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm also joined here with Gladys, one of our recent university graduates, as well as Frank, who is a current university student.
Hello everyone, my name is Gladys Wilson. I graduated from Cooperative University of Kenya in 2018. I did bachelor's degree in human resources management. I'm currently working at Coco Networks as a HR associate, and I'm very happy to be here tonight.
Hi everyone, my name is Frank Lesampu. I'm a student at Kenyatta University. I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in chemistry and physics. I am currently in my second year, and I'm very glad to be with you tonight.
Great, well thank you, both of you, for joining us tonight. let me start by wishing everyone a happy Mashujaa Day. Gladys, would you mind explaining to everyone what exactly is Mashujaa Day?
Yes, Mashujaa Day is a public holiday where we celebrate all our heroes. Mashujaa means, it's a Swahili word meaning hero. So we celebrate all our heroes. You might have known people like Jomo Kenyatta, Eliud Kipchoge, and Wangari Maathai.
I definitely know Eliud Kipchoge. So thank you. Okay. And of course, the main reason we're here tonight is to celebrate all of you, our heroes. If it wasn't for the support from all of you, we at the Thorn Tree Project wouldn't be able to help amazing students like these two. So let us pick up our drinks and give a cheers to our donors, our supporters, and our heroes. Cheers.
Yes.
So before we get into our discussion tonight, I'd like to give you just a very quick update on what's currently happening in Kenya. In terms of corona, we have over 43,000 reported cases of COVID-19 nationwide in Kenya. 57 of those are in Samburu County. The schools were closed in March and have been closed since up until September. So during that period, we as Thorn Tree recognized there was a significant learning loss happening. So we started a solar power radio distribution program where we distributed radios to the community. This allowed the students to access educational radio programming provided by the Kenyan government. And then also in October, we have been able to send some of our kids back to school based on government initiatives. Okay, Gladys and Frank, I now have some questions for the two of you. Questions coming all the way from New York City. So let me start with you, Gladys. What was it like to leave Samburu and come to Nairobi? You've been in Nairobi for high school, university, now you're working here, but I imagine it was a big adjustment coming from the rural areas of Samburu to Nairobi.
Yes, it was a big adjustment. It was quite challenging when I got here. There was a lot of people and cars and a lot of big buildings. But right now I feel like it's a second home to me. Yeah.
That's great. It's good to see you've made that transition. And I can imagine those big tall buildings were very scary in the beginning. So now you've finished your education, 16 years. You've now started working, which is wonderful. What's some advice that you would give to maybe your younger siblings or other Samburu youth in regards to school and education?
I would just remind them to keep going, not to give up, just focus on school, and afterwards you're going to get good jobs and you can help your parents and your siblings back at home. Like, that's what I'm doing right now. So just keep going, don't give up.
That's great advice. Thank you for all of us. So keeping with that theme, Frank, if you just keep going, don't give up, the advice from Gladys, then you should graduate in the next 2 to 3 years. So once you graduate, what job do you hope to have?
Once I graduate, I am planning to become a teacher and definitely become a teacher of chemistry and physics. I am planning to teach back in Samburu and help my brothers and sisters change their perception about chemistry and physics being hard. I would like to let them know that chemistry and physics can actually be very easy when someone changes their attitude about them and studies in the right manner.
That's great. Well, you have a very great attitude, and I know you'll be a wonderful example to all of them. So when you were in university when the COVID-19 pandemic started, and you were forced to leave university and go back to Samburu, I imagine that was quite an adjustment. At university, you have electricity, you have power, you have Wi-Fi, internet access. So how was that adjustment going back to Samburu, and were you able to continue with your online coursework?
Well, I was able to continue with the online studies, but due to poor network connectivity in Peru, I had to keep traveling back to the university where the internet is available, and so I could download my notes from my lecturers and therefore continue with my online studies.
I imagine that must have been really frustrating and difficult. I'm sure you're really happy to be back in Nairobi where we have a fast network. So, okay, one last question for both of you. What's something that we as the Thorn Tree Project donors and sponsors, what else can we do to further help you and the Samburu community?
Yeah, we still have many kids that needs the help. I remember the library was a really good place for me. So if we could have more books, then I'm sure a lot of kids are going to benefit from that. Also, the girls growing up there is not very easy, and if we could just get maybe more mentors to help the girls navigate through their lives in school, then that would be really helpful.
Well, I would also like the Thorn Tree Project to continue supporting our local schools so that our Samburu brothers and sisters can get the opportunities we have been able to get and get the education that we have been able to get.
Okay, great. I especially like hearing about the Girl Power program, which we would want to do more of, and just keeping the sponsorships going. So thank you for that. I've taken notes. Those are challenges to us, and we'll keep doing that for you guys. So as difficult as 2020 has been for all of us, we at the Thorn Tree Project have really committed to continuing to support the Samburu community, especially our teachers, our students, and our staff. So you'll see more in the video after this. More information about our mask distribution as well as our solar radio distribution. But in addition to that, I want people to recognize and understand that we still continued to pay our teachers and our staff throughout this entire pandemic, recognizing that that money goes directly towards feeding their families and paying their rent. So please know that any donation that you've given or you're going to give is being used to support the entire Samburu community. On behalf of the Kenyan team, I want to express our sincere gratitude and thank you to all of you, our heroes. And just express to you the gratitude from everyone here. I was able to travel up to Samburu in September, and it was so nice just connecting with everyone again, the teachers, the students, the community, and I just kept hearing from everyone, thank you, thank you, thank you. So please know that whatever donation you're able to give, it is not taken for granted. We really sincerely appreciate it. So, and then finally, I'd just like to say thank you so much to Gladys and Frank. We really appreciate the two of you being here with us tonight. It was nice talking to you and hearing about your experiences. And thank you everyone for listening.
Oh, it's so great to see you, Catherine. You know, for all of you who are watching, we were just there in Kenya in January, right before the world completely changed. So it's great to get this update. You know, the students in Samburu are facing a challenging future, like so many students around the world. But many of the challenges Samburu students face are compounded by where they live and the lack of resources there.
Now, of the 47 counties in Kenya, Samburu is ranked the 45th most economically challenged. Their opportunities for growth and development have always, throughout history, been stunted, and we want to help change that.
There's the pandemic, the remoteness of where they live. Let's turn to board member Dee Dee McMahon now to see what we might be able to do to break through some of those barriers.
And she has a big surprise announcement for you.
What is it? Matching!
She does. It's the big news of the evening. So Dee Dee, take it away.
Good evening. Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. By your being here, it means you have already given very generously to the Thorn Tree Project, and that's much appreciated. I'm Dee Dee McMahon. I first went to Samburu 10 years ago with my 3 children and Jane Newman, who is our guide and our inspiration. We spent almost 2 weeks teaching English every afternoon to 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, reading to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders in the library every morning, and visiting a couple of the preschools. It was an awesome, life-changing experience for my family and for me. It changed the way I see the world, and it changed the way I live in the world. In 2020, the children I took there and the children I met there are all in a very different situation. We all are. 2020 seems to be the year that just keeps on giving. Earlier this year, when the pandemic was first becoming acknowledged and we had to shut down and stay home, I made a personal choice to combat the giving of 2020 with my own giving. I wanted to double down. I wasn't going to travel, wasn't going to go places. I was going to give. I would like to ask you to join me in that endeavor if you can. I know you've given generously already. The children in Samburu need access to education. It's their possibility in the world to escape poverty, to have opportunity, to use their education to make a better life for themselves, their families, their community. So how do you unlock imagination? How do you unlock courage? How do you help these children? You help them by allowing them the safety net of schools and education, by providing them with the resources that they cannot get themselves there. We don't have to do everything, but we do have to do something. And I'll meet you part of the way. I will match any donation that you give tonight, dollar for dollar. Other board members will join me up to $50,000. If you give $10,000, I'll give $10,000. If you give $5,000, we'll give $5,000. If you give $100, we'll give $100. And make a pledge. I and other board members from Thorn Tree Project will match your pledge dollar for dollar. We can help so many students cover the cost of tuition, uniforms, food, dormitories, extra teachers, all the things you've heard about tonight that the Thorn Tree Project has already been doing for years. We need to continue. We need to work even harder now. The government lacks access. They lack, not access, but they lack the ability to give these students what they need fully. We can help cover the gap. These students need you. We need you. I'll match your pledge. The board will match your pledge. Thank you again for joining us tonight. We appreciate everything that you've done for Thorn Tree Project. We appreciate you being here with us. And I will turn it back over to our host. Thank you all. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Brett. Bye now.
I told you it was big. It's huge, right?
It really is. And if you want to donate right now and take advantage of Dee Dee's really generous matching offer, go to the link below. And if you give $5, she's going to match it. If you give $20, she's going to match it. If you give $100, she's going to match it. If you give $1 million, okay, she's not going to match it.
But if you give $1 million, we will find a way to match it.
We'll find a way to take it. Yeah. And here's what's great. Whether you're giving the $5, the $10, the $20, the $1 million, every single dollar goes into the scholarship fund, 100%. No, not going to administration fees, not going to something else. 100% goes directly to the students.
Now, many of you have already donated before tonight's event. You paid the $400 to be invited to tonight's event. And those people, you have already received your Basket of Abundance.
I love that name.
Isn't that a wonderful name, Basket of Abundance? So top off your sundowner right now, and Linda is going to take us through all of the amazing handcrafted items inside.
And if any of you are intrigued and want one of the baskets for yourself, you can still get one. Just donate $400 or more, and one will be sent to you, or one can be sent to someone on your Christmas gift list. They can get that amazing Basket of Abundance right from Beekman 1802 and right from Kenya.
Hi, my name is Linda Pagan and I'm the president of the Thorn Tree Project. And I would like you to grab your sundowners and your bitings and enjoy and imbibe them while I show you the Basket of Abundance, the unpacking of it. This is a kikapu. It is a traditional basket in Kenya made from makuti leaves, and it's ideal for the beach, to go to the market. It's also a wonderful present should you be staying with somebody. Inside this basket of abundance, we have really great little goodies. Okay, so the necklace that I'm wearing is single strands, and in your basket you too will have some strands of beaded necklaces done by the mothers in Ndanyuwasan. We also have these wonderful bracelets, wired bracelets, like this one, also made by the mothers in Ndanyuwasan. And our good friends at Beekman 1802 have a direct tie to the Samburu for their love of goats. We have Beekman 1802 goat milk soap with a scrubber. So that's a great tie-in to the culture of the goats in Samburu. And then, because we are living in the age of COVID, and that's why we're having this virtual fundraiser, we have added a mask made of West African textile, also known as kitenge. And we also have these beautiful napkins. And bear in mind that all of these fabrics are different. You will not receive this particular one. You may receive any one. God, these things are heavy. So we have lots of a variety of patterns. So that's also exciting for you to look forward to. And my favorite item is the kikoi. The kikoi is the traditional Kenyan sarong. And it can be worn many different ways by men and women. I like to wear mine as a scarf when I'm in New York City, comme ça. And then also, if I'm at the beach or I want to sleep in something comfortable, I wear it also. And the way you do it is like this. You take it, you wrap it this way, and then you do 3. 1, 2, 3, and you can roll it down like that. And once guys start wearing them at the beach, they realize how incredibly comfortable they are. So this is the kikoi. Oh, by the way, you can also use it when you travel. I travel quite a bit, and sometimes I stay in pretty dodgy hotels, so I put this on the bed. If you're a New Yorker and live in a traditional apartment building, just want you to know, this is the width of a window. So in my apartment, kikois are my curtains. So that's the kikoi. And then, depending on your basket, you will receive one of these items. And again, the fabric is West African. West African fabric is very popular now in Kenya. It has been for about 10-15 years, but now it's very popular in the US as well. So this is a microwave pot holder, in that you take your dish from the microwave, put it on this, and you don't burn your fingers. We also have a cash all, which is throw in your change, throw in the keys. Fantastic, right? So I hope that you are enjoying your sundowners, and unpack your goodies and send us pictures of yourself in a kikoi, okay? We'd love to see how you've worked it.
Brent, where's your kikoi?
Our kikois are in the cleaners because we wear them all the time.
We actually do. They are the most handy.
They are the most comfortable thing.
garment.
And when we first saw people wearing them, we're like, what is that? Like a tablecloth?
No, it's amazing.
And it's so easy to tie, and like by the pool, or it's just so cool to wear.
So if you want to get your basket of abundance, it's a $400 donation. You simply donate $400 or more, and remember, what did we remember?
Matched.
It's going to be matched.
Matched.
And you'll get your basket of abundance.
That's right. And the money raised by each basket will pay for a teacher's salary, food for our elementary and preschool students, books, uniforms, high school and college tuition, lodging, and so much more. Your $400 goes so far.
Your money will even help purchase some of our backpacks of necessities, which provide mattresses, uniforms, textbooks, stationaries, toiletries, data bundles, All of this for a college or high school student in the Thorn Tree program.
Hi, my name is Gaddafi Lengeremishoy, Senate Logistic Manager. Hi, I'm Geoffrey Nganga, Thorn Tree Project Driver. Hi, I'm Simon Lasamaja, Scholarship Internship. Intern.
Hi, I'm Chakwa Jennifer, Girl Power Program.
Thank you for the Thorn Tree Project, for the sanitary tiles. It will help us. Thank you very much.
Hello, Jakopir Ditilo, Senate Accountant.
Hi there, I'm Catherine Vanderwall and I'm the director of the Thorn Tree Project. Thank you so much everyone for being here and thank you for supporting our team and the great work that we're doing here in Samburu. Ashe Oleng.
Wewe vizuri unajua ukiwa vizuri inaonekana unasema tena. No. 1, 2, 3. Tena.
So to everyone here tonight, we, from the bottom of our hearts, we want to personally thank you for joining us and giving as generously as you can and sharing the Thorn Tree Project mission and Samburu scholarship programs with your friends. This program cannot continue without the help of yourself and your friends. Every amount helps, $5, $10, whatever you can, and it all goes directly to supporting the students, schools, and scholarships.
Because resilience is not just about getting through the next day, these challenging times. It's about finding ways to thrive during the journey. So let's continue to build a robust, resilient community together. Thank you.
Thank you,
well.
everyone. Be
Good
well.
night.
Good night, everybody.
This is the performance at Sereolipi Primary School's awards ceremony. Present are students, teachers, and parents, mostly mothers. Samburu songs are actually stories or pleas set to music.
Without whom have no future. But if I have a future, a socio-economic future, a future that is bright, then I need them. I need teachers. Teachers help me realize my potential. They teach me English, then mathematics, then science, then Kiswahili, then social studies. I need them. I need teachers. Teachers help me realize my potential. Thank you. Wanafunzi, tutie bidii, masomoni, tufaulu. Iya, ukurasa, 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 ukurasa mpya, ukurasa, osilingira yedede, ninyake ngisoma, osilingira yedede, papa ninyake ngisoma, osilingira yedede, ninyake ngisoma, osilingira yedede, papa ninyake ngisoma, osilingira yedede, ninyake ngisoma, osilingira yedede, papa ninyake ngisoma. Kimara lowe, lowe, 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 benye bondo.
It is the last day of the school year, and teachers, students, and parents are gathered at Sereolipi Primary School for the end of the term awards ceremony. Our students have one foot in traditional culture and the other in the global world.